been a long time since I've done one of these, but actually I was kind of annoyed actually, but I just wanted to share it with you because I've been doing some further research looking at mental health and menopause and basically hormone related burnout and why it actually happens and why we keep telling people that that's just a mental health issue and sticking them on antidepressants instead of actually looking at their HRT regime if they even have one. And the fact that the medical community are not even up to date around what the options for women are, except for putting most people onto an estradiol supplement, just a tablet, not recognising that actually estrogen creams that are absorbed through the skin are more efficiently absorbed by the system and actually help brain function much better. If you don't give people progesterone, that you're really impacting their ability to sleep. That if you don't provide a supplement of the testosterone, then people lose their drive and energy and actually their body aches more. Do you believe that? I need you to understand and hear what I'm saying. Women experience more chronic pain because testosterone is a protection against the feelings of aching joints. So men get it easier all the way through until their testosterone levels start to drop off as well. But this is one of the things that I really need you to understand why I've been quiet the last couple of years, because I experienced burnout. I had, some difficult experiences that I know were psychological, but when I was looking at the psychological recovery, I couldn't recover even though I had all of the psychological skills at my fingertips, right? And it wasn't until I started investigating this whole thing, because it didn't make any sense to me. I had all of the psychological tools. I'd put myself in a place where I thought things would be a bit easier, yet I still couldn't recover. Now, admittedly, I still had lots of chronic pain and other things, but guess what? When I addressed my hormones, which I started to do at the beginning of the year, I went on to bioidentical HRT at the end of February, beginning of March, and my life has changed completely. I'm back. I feel like I can do things like I used to do them. My chronic pain is massively diminished. I mean, it's ridiculous. And now I've actually got all of the research that proves what I'm saying is true, and why we should never look at a midlife woman and go, she's just depressed, or it's just, a mental health issue. It's not. It's a physiological hormone one. And if we address the hormone replacement stuff, as we should with every single person from their mid-40s, we should be looking at this stuff. And ladies, nobody tells you, can I just point this out? All of the things that we experience are all there laid out in front of us in our hormones, why it works and how cortisol mediates things. And interestingly, even then why, some women seem to sail through, but then if they get really high stressor events, that's when they fall over and they can't actually recover. And, that's what happened to me. I'd always been resilient. I always bounced back. But after this, I couldn't. And I didn't understand that from a psychological perspective. None of my thinking had actually changed, but physically, I just couldn't do it. All the feelings of, not caring about stuff that I'd never had before. So I'm kind of excited, but annoyed that nobody tells you this stuff. And when I look at the research and what I've been doing lately, I'm inspired, because I kind of feel like finally I've got the answers and I can help others understand it. But I just get really frustrated at this system that doesn't actually look at us holistically. And people sort of say, well, why is it such a big issue now? I think it was always an issue. It's just that our mothers didn't know that that was what it was related to. And they didn't have to do jobs that meant that they needed to be cognitively functioning until they were 70 years old. It just didn't happen. A little rant for my day, but I need you to watch this space, because it's actually inspired me to start talking about a lot more stuff to do with, burnout and what it looks like, but actually why the basis of all of it needs to be looked at through your hormones and your hormone priorities, you know, getting the right analysis, finding the right doctor who actually understands the complexities of why we need to give you, you know, the balanced treatment around everything, and why we shouldn't just kind of accept that, you know, while we're through menopause. I mean, in my case, I went through it and it was kind of like it was no big deal. But it was 2 years later that I hit the wall. And that's because that's when all of the hormone levels had completely dropped to nothing, and I just couldn't function with it anymore. And you know, when stress happened and my cortisol levels spiked, the cortisol spiked because there was no mediating effect from the hormones like there had been earlier on in my life. So of course it makes sense why women at this point are more prone to burnout, and they leave the workforce in droves at this point in their life as well. So this is another thing that we really need to address. So you're going to hear more from me about this. Surprise, surprise. I'd just like to get the house finished so I could get on with it, you know? All right, I'll see you soon.